Welcome back, boxing fans. I just heard the most ridiculous, retarded take that I've heard in a while, but this is no surprise because this is, of course, from John Boxing, who somehow wants, of course, once again, talk about Devin Haney. Like, this dude is the equivalent of the LDBC with Devin Haney. Of course, it's no surprise he's pushing the same fucking narrative the LDBC is pushing. Like, he should really be upset with Knockout Boxing, who consistently is shit all over Devin Haney, or Fan Boxing and Ego and tons of these other guys. But he'll keep dick riding Devin Haney and somehow always use a non-black fighter to make everything racial. So now the problem is that Tim Tszyu, who quit, isn't getting enough hate in the boxing world. But once again, here you are comparing fucking apples to oranges. Like, literally, Tim Tszyu had just been knocked the fuck out by Bakram Murtazaliev. Many people, myself included, didn't think Tim Tszyu even deserved a fucking world title fight against Funduro. The reason it got made is because this is what the PBC does. But John doesn't want to talk about that. He doesn't want to put the emphasis on the PBC giving fighters that don't deserve world title opportunities. He'd rather somehow act as if Lomachenko didn't deserve to fight for a vacant title against George Kambosos. Yeah, okay. Okay. Even though Lomachenko was ranked number 1 by all 4 sanctioning bodies, so inevitably he was going to get an opportunity to fight for one of the titles because of the controversial side to the Devin Haney loss. All sanctioning bodies put him into the number 1 position. John might want to ignore that, but that's a clear difference between him losing a controversial close fight to Devin Haney and Tim Tszyu being fucking destroyed by Murtazaliev and then bouncing into a fucking world title fight through the PBC with Funduro, a fight people literally was saying was a bullshit fight. And I predicted that Funduro was going to do what? Stop Tim Tszyu. So it wasn't a tough prediction. It was pretty fucking obvious, right? And I nailed that one 100% correct. I didn't get the rounds right, but I got the fucking decision perfectly correct. That tells you how complicated it was to surmise that that's exactly what's going to happen. But now that Funduro made Tim Tszyu quit, people should be really hating on Tim Tszyu, because let's look at how people hated on Devin Haney. How come people aren't hating on Tim Tszyu the same way they're not hating on Devin Haney? Well, let's think about this a little logically. Nobody was putting Tim Tszyu number 3 on the pound for pound list. Right, John? Not like you. You literally put Devin Haney above Haney on your pound for pound list. You put him above Canelo. You put him above Bivol. You literally put that guy so high on the list, all because of a controversial win against Vasily Lomachenko. Right? So, of course, you're going to have people kick out and belittle him after the whole Ryan Garcia situation. And ironically, the people mostly doing that were mostly Black American boxing fans, the Tank Davis fans, who were all over him for that, right? Ironically enough. But of course, he wants to make this racial. But it has nothing to do with racial. The reason nobody's fucking hating on Tim Tszyu is because Tim Tszyu had already been exposed. Tim Tszyu got beat by Funduro and then got destroyed by Bakram Murtazaliev. At that point, there was no fucking pushing Tim Tszyu. Nobody was talking about Tim Tszyu even being one of the top 5 fighters at the 154-pound division. So why would anyone hate on him now because he got knocked out against Funduro, which was an easy fucking prediction? The irony is, if we want to make this racial, let's make this racial. You notice John is all pushing this Tim Tszyu situation. But John wasn't talking about how Alexander Usyk made Daniel Dubois quit, after guys like John and others were actually thinking that Daniel Dubois potentially was going to win in the rematch. I didn't think that. Once again, I told you that Usyk was going to stop Daniel Dubois probably faster in the rematch. And that's exactly what happened. So once again, that wasn't a complicated prediction either. But Tim Tszyu like Daniel Dubois, both quit and got stopped quicker in the rematch. Outside of people from the UK hating on Dubois because this is the third fight in his career where he blatantly quit, Americans didn't talk about Daniel Dubois quitting against Usyk at all. Because, of course, they don't want to give any hype to Usyk. They don't want to fanboy Usyk's victory. They don't want to give Usyk any credit for his fantastic victory because then, they might have to actually put him above some black fighters in the all-time heavyweight rankings. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? That would be impossible. We don't want to do that. So, of course, we're going to undermine it, downplay it, and act like it didn't exist. Think about Lomachenko. Lomachenko literally made 3 fighters no mas in a row. Walters, Sosa, and Rigo. Rigo, who guys like John were saying was going to easily beat Lomachenko, was a pound-for-pound top 10 fighter on a whole different level. Yet he quit. Nicholas Walters, who people said was going to beat Lomachenko, was literally a monster in and around those weight divisions. Destroyed Donaire way more convincingly than Rigo did. Yeah, what did he do? He quit. Sosa, of course, gets downplayed because he don't look right. But Sosa was a top-level fighter at 130 pounds. He was, unlike Tank Davis and others, actually not afraid to step up and fight Vasily Lomachenko. He did not duck, dodge, and fucking dive. He jumped at the opportunity and got fucking exposed and quit. 3 fighters pulling no masses, hence Lomachenko getting the name No Maschenko. Yet, I didn't see John really hating on any of those fighters for quitting. Actually, he hated on Lomachenko. Imagine that. Imagine hating on the guy that literally made 3 fighters pull no masses back to back to back. Right? But now it's racial because nobody's hating on Tim Tszyu. Nobody's harping on the fact that Tim Tszyu quit against Funduro. I mean, you can't really make this shit up because this is the kind of stupidity you get from stupid fucking people. Stupid people breed stupidity, and they get fucking stupid fans to follow their channels who fucking don't know any better because, well, they're stupid, right? I'd be fucking really interested to know if anybody that actually subscribed to John's channel actually even graduated from high school. I doubt it. But, okay, it is what it is. Stupid people follow stupid concepts and stupid ideas, so John's got that shit wrapped up because he's always coming up with stupid ideas. Always ideas that somehow make everything racial. Yet Tim Tszyu not getting hated on has nothing to do with him being white. It's because he was already irrelevant. He was irrelevant when he got fucking brutalized by Murtazaliev. At that point, people didn't care about Tim Tszyu after that. He'd already been exposed. He lost a fight with Funduro. People gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then he got destroyed by Murtazaliev, and people were like, yeah, that dude's fucking done. Shot to bits. And then him getting stopped by Funduro in the rematch only signified that all of that was true, right? And if we never see Tim Tszyu in another top fight in boxing, nobody is going to be surprised at all. See, that's a clear difference with Devin Haney, who guys like John are getting upset because he's not ranked in the pound-for-pound top 10 list. Yet somebody like Kenshiro Taraji is. Yet Kenshiro Taraji was a unified world champion. Devin Haney is not a world champion. Having a not world champion on the pound-for-pound list seems a little unjust. How can you be one of the best fighters in boxing if you're not even a world champion, right? And this is a common sort of situation. Many people's lists don't put non-champions on these lists. So, of course, with John, I mean, he doesn't care. Devin Haney is black, so of course he should be on the list just because of the color of his skin. But him catching any hate also is all about race, even though it has nothing to do with race. Devin Haney is an unlikable character, just like his father. Ryan Garcia is also an unlikable character. The two of them together are pretty fucking unlikable. And we all know that Devin Haney cherry-picked Ryan Garcia to try to get a career-high fucking payday and build up his name like Tank Davis did. The irony is it didn't work out that way for him. This was more reminiscent of Deontay Wilder cherry-picking Tyson Fury. It blew up in his face, and people thought that was fucking hilarious, especially with all the fucking talk before the fight. And then looking at all the whining fucking simping after the fight. And then look at his last performance where he fought like fucking a deer in the headlights. And now this is the fighter we're talking as pound for pound top 3 in the world. Well, we will see. He's got a great fight coming up, and I stated that. I said, you know, you got to give Devin Haney a lot of praise taking on an unbeaten world champion in his third weight division, and not the weakest link either, but like a legitimate champion. And if he beats him, he's going to become a 3-weight world champion and obviously put himself back into the pound for pound list, because that's how things happen. You earn your right onto the pound for pound list. You're not given it just because of what you've done previously. It's what you've done for me lately. That's the way life is, right? But you let me know in the comment section below, should people be hating on Tim Tszyu more? Is it a fair comparison to compare Tim Tszyu to Devin Haney? Nobody ever talked about Tim Tszyu being a pound for pound top 10 fighter. Tim Tszyu's never been a unified champion. Tim Tszyu's never been a champion in 2 weight divisions. I mean, Tim Tszyu is a PBC fighter who was put on pay-per-views by the PBC and used and fucking maneuvered the same way the PBC does everybody, right? Him losing didn't really upset or shock or surprise anybody. But let me know in the comment section below if maybe I have the wrong tilt, or do you think I'm barking up the right tree?